So if we can work with youth collaboratively with trying to prevent those thinking errors, those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, and replace them with positive ones, hopefully we can help them not have some of those unwanted behaviors out in the community, and hopefully replace it with something more positive.
Jackson County Juvenile Detention supports community safety through the use of a secure placement in the overall continuum of services. Justice-involved youth who are pending court action, have violated conditions of release or probation, or have been court-ordered to a specific number of days are not just serving time, but receive valuable services such as medical, counseling, education, recreation, evidence-based skill building, and drug and alcohol services to ensure that the time they are in detention is used as effective as possible. So the old way of thinking frames detention as isolation, and the Jackson County Juvenile Detention Team wants to change that by providing skills and opportunities successfully. Can you elaborate on that?
The old way of thinking would really try to concentrate on safety being the biggest concern. That being the safety for the community, if that youth is potentially dangerous out in the community or whatnot. Safety for the victims involved that could be potentially related to the youth. But then also safety for the youth while they reside here at the detention facility, along with safety for staff and others involved in kind of the youth interactions here. Which is all very important, and that's still one of our top priorities here. But what research shows is that there's not a whole lot of accountability created with the youth just being isolated in their room. And what we want to really go ahead and move forward with is let's not only keep the community safe, the youth safe, staff safe, all those good things. We can do that while simultaneously, hopefully teaching coping strategies, teaching skills, provide coaching, modeling of behavior, really just trying to give the youth everything that hopefully they need to be successful when they do transition back out into the community, that they hopefully can avoid making the same mistakes twice. And that hopefully we're providing them the skills that creates a scenario where we don't see them back in our detention facility again.
What are cognitive behavioral interventions?
CBI, or cognitive behavioral interventions, is really an evidence-based practice that's kind of tried and true. Lots of research done on these kind of interventions that really provide an ability to start analyzing or thinking about how your thoughts and your emotions could potentially lead to behaviors. We're really trying to work with preventing those negative thoughts or negative emotions from leading to negative behaviors. So it's trying to kind of put a stopgap or like let's take a deep breath real quick kind of a moment so that youth can try to analyze and replace those negative thoughts or negative emotions with hopefully positive ones that then prevents those negative behaviors from occurring. So the whole idea behind it is really kind of retraining your brain almost. It's like creating actually different pathways in your brain, different ways of thinking so that you can avoid negative behaviors in the future. So if we can work with youth collaboratively with trying to prevent those thinking errors, those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, and replace them with positive ones, hopefully we can help them not have some of those unwanted behaviors out in the community that could lead to like new charges, unhealthy relationships, maybe addiction issues, those kind of things, and hopefully replace it with something more positive.
How do you provide the youth with evidence-based practices?
We work with 2 evidence-based practices right now, pretty exclusively, but we're always looking for new curriculum and new programs to adopt. One is True Thought, and so what True Thought does is, again, kind of works specifically on those thinking errors. So trying to create a really safe environment within a group setting for youth to talk about those thinking errors that we all have, right? But specifically talking about the thinking errors that the youth have that can relate to unwanted behavior, like picking up new crimes, unhealthy relationships, and those kind of things. So it's a group setting that's safe, that youth can kind of interact and talk about some of those thinking errors that they may encounter while out in the community, and then trying to, again, replace those thinking errors with positive thinking or coping strategies that will prevent them from doing unwanted behaviors.
What do you like the most about your job?
I think working with youth, I also am very lucky to find myself in a leadership role, and so trying to create a culture that's really conducive to a really great place to work here at Jackson County Juvenile, all the while trying to teach staff all of the skills needed to really provide the youth everything that they need to hopefully, again, prevent new charges, reduce recidivism, prevent those thinking errors from occurring outside the facility. So yeah, that's what I really enjoy here.